Food Affair with Peter and Kobela.
I don't know about the politics. Malawa that George Bezos they always say may his soul rest in peace, but Nagamoto believer more the soul never rests. It's an miracle, a lot of work.
Okay.
But let's talk about the politics in agriculture and how they've assisted black people to advance.
In agriculture.
In agriculture,
yes.
We see black farmers become successful from 1 hectare of planting Moput. They jump from 100 hectares to 200 hectares with the assistance of government.
With the assistance of politics?
With the assistance of politics within government.
Okay.
So I'm trying to ask myself, has the politics assisted the advancement of black people in farming?
Even though Honali disclaimer, but yes, I'm taking responsibility for the words that I say.
Sure. Yes, yes.
Not what people think outside, only what I say.
Yes.
But I'm trying to say it as easy, as simple.
You have to say it as raw as possible.
And as raw as possible. But what other people, there's this saying that I'm only responsible for what I say, not what you think.
Sure. Yes.
So with that disclaimer as well, personal disclaimer, I'll go back to the issue of politics. Politics is about organizing communities towards a certain purpose.
Right.
Alone, you can do your own thing yourself.
Yeah.
You don't even need a lot of rules because you know how to govern yourself.
Okay.
But as soon as you get married, there's two people. You need to have a constitution, a governance relationship between two.
Right.
And then after that, you also get other people, 2 or 5, depending how many children you have. Now there's 7 people in a household. Right. You also need to amend your constitution to accommodate 7 people now. Because
yes.
Now, ke familia Kobela, ke familia Rabotapi, ke familia Ntate Mokoena, ke familia Ntate Moathe. It's a community now. And now we need to manage the process here. Who's doing spinach, who's doing cabbage. Otherwise, it's a spinach the whole process.
Okay.
And then we will oversupply a spinach, and then so now this is where now the government comes in to help coordinate, or not even the government, governance comes in to coordinate this thing. So hence we need to take things and break them down to where they are. Hence I'm coming back from that issue of Makobela, family, and then the community, because we get stuck in the academics of life.
Yeah.
Yet the life, it is so simple. And then we think without government we cannot do anything. Yes, government is important, especially looking at the structures of economy of South Africa, because we are at a certain point.
Yeah.
But we also have to look at the role of government in agriculture, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Our problem is that we spend so much time. I heard during the day, the president will be announcing yet another plan. I don't know how many plans we have in South Africa, but we still have poverty.
Yeah.
And we are not even reducing that poverty, because we are so hyped up in the academics of doing things. Like I said last week, I'm like a farmer in my mind, because a farmer, you wake up 3 o'clock, you are in the field. You don't think about plans and all that. Plans are important. They help organize things.
Yeah. Okay.
But you cannot be stuck in the plans mentality.
Could you elaborate more in the phrase? You say we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yes. Like a post on Facebook, or I love the Afrikaners. No, but you know, we have to look like how Nalebana Kamontlong. You look at, let's say you have 2 boys, you have 2 girls. Each one will have a certain character, and each one will have certain talent. For the harmony of the family, you need to say, my boy, you are good at music. My boy, you are good at gardening. My girl, you good at this and this. Concentrate on that. And you, my other girl, you are good at this. So, Rona, when we look at that, we say apartheid. But it's not, because you are maximizing potential of each and every individual.
Okay.
Makgoba e bitsa self-determination, IFP le yona e kile ya kena ka yona, by support ba batla ho etsa federal states of Africa, of South Africa, something like that. But the good thing about that is we need to say, guys, we have a crisis in South Africa like we do now. Who amongst us is the best when it comes to soil technology? This is where now the government comes in. We need somebody, because renale population about Stats SA comes in. Renale population about Tobacana go Winterfeld. Those people that are sitting on such type of land. CSIR, how can you help us? There's also this organizations, agriculture. This is now government. They have all those facilities within them to say, let us go Scandaf, recheck soil properties, because Batwako Scandaf Bawata Holem. But they have been trying Holema for the past 10 years, but they are not getting good yield. And they are demotivate. Because if you don't see results, why do something? You understand? So the Africans were very good, even though they did evil things, but they were good to look after themselves.
Okay.
Even today, they are still doing everything in their power. That's why they make noise every day on the radio to protect themselves.
Before you go in, Kobel, I need to Mr Rabotapi to answer this question so that the Hono group are into one sense. What is the disadvantage that was brought into the agricultural department, or not even the department, into the agricultural sector, that was projected into by politics?
I think greed, to put it straight. We had a process of land restitution and all that, and then our government, Bankile was not passion for farming. And out of greed, they distributed the land that was claimed from white people who stole it before from our grandfathers. But instead of giving it to tested people who were already doing it, and we have such cases, go Winterfeld, but it's a consortium, they are old, the elders in the business world, including Bondate Maponya. They have an organization called Winterfeld, the oranges, there was one the moringa, and lots of other things, and they're running very successful businesses, and most of them without government support. You are not our very own black government without that government. But if government could go to such people and say, guys, we have been doing this thing, we have X amount of millions, come sit on the boards and advise us how to do it. Come identify young black people with the right qualities to push farming issues. Because and that's what we have done in South Africa. We took people laptop to get in. And then push it and so that's where we failed as black people. And
I think that you are aware that the PIC takes black people's money in the majority, gives it to white fund managers. White fund managers gives it to white business.
I hope you've got an evidence to that. However, you may continue.
Yes. And yet we still complain about funding as businesses when the PIC has got R1 trillion fund, but it's giving it to the wrong hands. It still stays. In this case, it's true. Black people's money still goes to white people's hands. Till today, we still complain about the circulation of money in black communities.
Okay.
Yet, this thing is started way before. So I want to find out, do you think a bank would assist black farmers in the advancement in agriculture? Ndadan Sonyane started a very good bank, African bank. Unfortunately, ibile ya tswa mo matsohong of black people because of politics, but he still remains the first black person to start a bank in this country. So I'm trying to find out, do we give it a take two in this way, funding only agricultural products? Do you think it will assist in the advancement of black people in agriculture?
Yes, it will, because if you want to use money about Traba, you have to do the due diligence and make sure that if you invest in Kobela farms, the people that put money in your bank will get their yield. So as a fund manager, irrespective of whether you are white or black, you must look after the interest about to be deposited into your bank. So if you specialize and open an agri bank, and that's why we're going back to the issue of reinventing the wheel. How you go China, there's a agricultural bank of China. There's specialized banks that each field. Because what last week we focus. Because sometimes we try to do a lot of things and we lose focus. But if you have a bank, a focus still only on agriculture, you get to hire the credit controllers, the credit managers, the accountant. But the land bank who's got experience in higher firm.
The land bank is there. Why are we now?
Yes. No, I get the question was, do we need such banks? So yes. But then the them one say I hope there is evidence to that. I think you can Google. Last week the minister, one of the ministers came on TV in public, and she did mention 75% of COVID funds went to white businesses. So we should not sugarcoat these issues and hide them. So the evidence is there, but the people who have interest in that money will spin all they want, because we also don't control the media. So the they get sanitized before they come to us as black people. Hence we need to support stations like Rangua FM, because kids are old, and we need to make sure that they grow. Liberate go high, they need to support Rangua FM, because these are our things. So let's go back to so yes, we do need our banks. Black banks, because I think reconciliation killed us and our oppressors abused Botubaro. Because we forgave, they didn't even ask for forgiveness. We forgave without being asked to forgive. And we said, come, let's shake hands and let's reconcile. And they smiled on this side, but Suritiba on the other hand. That's why even today, go check the stats. The thing is, we don't want to check the stats. You cannot run the country at 3 minutes. And we lost it as black people, because we had an opportunity. But you know, this is where now that thing you begin with the end in mind and have vision when you begin. Because we need to be clear. But because of the reconciliation I was talking about, we thought, hore, let's be nice. And we thought, hore, these other people we are extending a hand to, the white people, they are going to be nice to us. But the facts are there on the table. The economy has not changed. And it's even worse. There is a report that says white people, Afrikaners, they became more millionaires and billionaires after 94. So 94 worked for white people, not for blacks. Yes, there are millionaires and billionaires amongst us. Don't get me wrong with that. So with that and the constitution, we have the power to change these things. As we talk about politics.
So we change it to what direction? To black or to colorless South Africa?
The white people of this country would like us, as the aid result over the weekend, that they are cancelling racialism, they call it that, because they don't want to talk black and white. But how can you say you are addressing a fault of the past without putting the numbers down to say how many black people live in poverty, how many white people? Because the whole South Africa must stand.
I wish I was with you on a different topic.
But then, on the other hand, every night, Hoshwa Bana ba 600 because Bashoka Kalakal. and it's not big news.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we entertain two people
Yeah.
in a period of 6
It doesn't
months.
make sense, yeah. So let's talk about education, especially higher education in this case.
It's a lot of issues.
So, Ronale Chancellor Wako Free State, that they Bonamahal,
Oh, okay.
black person.
Oh.
We have the Chancellor UNISA, it's a black person, that they Tabumbeki. We have the Chancellor UP, Professor Wiseman. Three people, three very good institutions. There's only one institution that prioritizes agriculture in those three, which is University of Pretoria. It's probably the best in the country. Nalinyona produces the best grades, but still, the oppressed black child hasn't changed. They still get oppressed in the medium, the way the school is being run. Why do we have these people there? What contribution are they doing to further the studies of black kids in these institutions?
I think we got too excited in 94. And we moved into the oppressor's house.
Okay.
Hence, we haven't built any universities. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
But do we have any universities that we built after 94?
Mpumalanga is a meaning and a university, so I'm not too sure if that is classified as a varsity. But to answer your question, no.
Okay. Under apartheid, Verwoerd was a good psychologist. I say also that that guy was brilliant because he worked on our minds. Hence today, Relwansana as black people, because he worked on our minds, and he even said it's going to take us 300 years to solve our psychological issues.
Okay.
So the oppressor goes out and we say, let's reconcile, Hagana, Rasmaila, and they say you can use our university. But the structure that is there was designed by them. It's their structure. It's everything.
Okay. Just when you are there, Mr Rabotapi, two questions. One, do we need a curriculum that will suit us as South Africans? And do we have a capacity to establish such?
We always have capacity. We need a will. We always have capacity. You see, the mentality that says we are not capable, we are not empowered, it's a wrong mindset. We have always been empowered. It's just the will. Any man is empowered to wake up every day. There's a saying that says in Africa, every morning, a lion knows that has to outrun a gazelle in order to eat. And the gazelle also knows that has to outrun the lion in order to survive.
You're making sense, but I want you to give me an answer with proving the dynamics, because while you are saying we are always able. Now you must not forget, or when we start that project tomorrow, life has to keep running on. What dynamic can we put in place from starting tomorrow while we are introducing or establishing the new curriculum, if we need it and if we are actually able to put that in place?
Yes, I think that's why we did what we did after 94, because we were trapped in the mentality that said life has to go on. Sometimes life has to stop. And COVID...
Now tomorrow morning my kids has to eat, then life can never stop.
No, life...
In such a realistic manner.
Hence I said COVID showed us that life can stop. And you can't deny it. Life stopped kabakala COVID-19.
No, routines stopped. Exactly. But we our responsibilities went on as our responsibilities. Black or white, pink or purple, we had to keep at them.
True.
So life did not stop, but routines changed.
Yes.
So let's talk about implementing a black curriculum when life has to keep on, when responsibilities to be met day to day by practical South Africans in real situations.
I think it starts first with vision, and we have to have a vision as a black-led South Africa. We have to say, gents, what do we want? Where do we want to be in 10 years' time? And I don't think, maybe I'm naive or I'm stupid in certain things, but as a black person, and I read a lot, I try to check a lot of information, but I cannot articulate the vision of South Africa. And without vision, we cannot do anything. Check the African. When they took power from the British, they started all these universities you mentioned. They were started by the Afrikaners from 1948. And within a small period of time, they even introduced a new language called Afrikaans. There was never Afrikaans before that. They produced a new language. So you see, they stopped the English language and they switched to Afrikaans. Hence, Afrikaans was the official language of South Africa, the first official language of South Africa.
I was asking myself this question earlier, whether we should be having a conversation nationally, because black people in the main don't value land. We don't even have land. So how do we talk the advancement of agriculture when we don't have land in our possession? Or even value the little bit of land. When we see land in the main, Rabatloa the room hopolang, so you can get a little bit of income in my government job. So I'm trying to ask myself, are we serving the community and the audience by having a conversation like this? And that's the question I want to put onto the floor, because it baffles the mind. Why are we not seeing that the soil transforms into money? It doesn't happen overnight, but you cannot have money without the soil. Why are we not seeing those two go hand in hand? What is it in our psychology that sees this thing as irichila, dust? It just doesn't give us the financial. It's backwards. What is in us that we can't see the value in land?
I think it goes back to psychology, and hence it starts with vision. It always starts with vision. But coming back to the issue of psychology, remember we had two departments of education in South Africa, one for the whites and one for the blacks. The one for the blacks was made to produce people who can't see the relationship between the land and the money.
Yeah.
People who will only concentrate on the money side because it's quick fix. We want quick fix. And the whites, on the other hand, were taught and educated to value land.
Yeah.
That's why even today they're fighting so much to retain whatever piece of land that they have. And again, we're moved. There's lots of stories all over South Africa where the land was rich and fertile. Black people were moved away from it and given to whites. So you take a black person, Aratam farming, naturally. Umobea in a black that is poor in soil quality. Utlojala, but nothing is gonna come out of it. Yena understand why I move you from the land, but because the whites did the studies and they realized, oh no, the western side of Pretoria is poor quality, the eastern side is good quality. Let's move all the blacks to the west and let's all the white go to the east. And this is the structures that we are in. And yes, we can talk progressing black people in all that, but if we don't address the mindset issues, hence our government has been doing that with corporates. And last week I touched on it where government pumped a lot of money into corporates.
In 30 seconds.
And then they failed because the mindset was not right. People went into that because they wanted quick money, and farming is not quick money. Hence, we spend, I think, about 70% of our talk today talking about mindset type issues. And we are running away from the real issues. But then having a shotgun approach to these serious issues would not really help us. It will keep us moving in the same cycle.
Making sense. Thank
you so much, Kopolang. No, I think this conversation needs to happen. The responsibility of Harongo FM just increased from this conversation, which is to conscientize the mind and to value things in the main people don't value. One of them being land and the soil.
you very much.